Right, morning everybody. On the data front, pretty much the last piece of significant data this week is UK retail sales. Chinese data has come in as predicted, so if not marginally better, so that's fine. UK retail sales are expected to be lower. Once this retail sales data is out of the way, you've got weekly jobs lunchtime. That's pretty much it. There's not much data tomorrow. Certainly no US data. So, a couple of things I'm seeing. Just bear with me 1 minute. Euro yen. We are just above. We're opening this hour above last week's high. So 350 is a pullback to last week's high, which yesterday's high would be 340. So ideally, we want closer to 300. 325 would be that push back to the 225 is the 200, and just around about 300 mark is the gap fill. So decent push into the open. I've been watching this one a lot, as you know. It's on the line. It's a little weak. That data has perked up the Aussie. So let's watch the DAX. The DAX, that really, to me, it looks like an exhaustion. To me, this looks like an exhaustion move. Exhaustion moves tend to come close to the end of a run. We came out of nowhere, catapulted up there, and spent the whole rest of the day drifting. Now, if we come back to the breakup area 14, that could be a good option to get in. But if the dips are getting bought, then just keep buying dips, and don't listen to anybody who's pessimistic, because these markets are just every little dip's getting bought. So let's just stick to the trend, and the trend is up. So if we are at yesterday's close and we are holding, then that suggests that we could go further. So in theory, we are, so we already had a buy signal down here at 26.27. So if we're breaking up from yesterday's close, who knows, this could potentially be it. And it's a very nice touch of the 15-minute 200. So it's actually, this is, we're at last week's highs. We're at last week's highs, so all the more reason to watch this very closely. Sorry, I apologise, my charts are not marked up properly for some reason. Yeah, so we've broken up. Let's a quick look at the 60-minute chart, just while we get going. That's last week's highs. Big bust up, drifting, and here we are sitting on there now. Pound does not look much, so let's just take. My ticket's not even ready either. Come on, Mike, you should be ready. I'll just buy the last week's highs then. I'm long at last week's highs. And on this move here, so let's just see if that can tick up. All right, at the moment that looks like, let's just assume for now that is going to do it. There's a significant breakup from last week's highs yesterday. Nice retest of last week's high. So let's just, I'm just jumping in. Not much else going on in the forex markets right now. Keep a very close eye on what the euro price is, and of course the pound. We're looking for a week. All right, so that's coming back down, potentially coming back down to 37 for a retest, halfway into the bar, into the range. Test last week's lows. Okay, so target, right, 60 is a major barrier. What was my entry? 39. So let's just quickly put that target on. Let's go for, I'm going to put it just under the 100 mark, and then I'll adjust that. In the meantime, let's look at the euro yen. Let's just a quick recap on where this was yesterday. This was came into the Asian close nicely. Little jinx pullback in just before London opened. London opened bullishly, pushed into resistance, took the pullback, and up we went. Right, so pound US dollar is right on a fib support. So this move yesterday, very frustrating. I didn't sort of put a sensible target in, otherwise I could have just nipped 35 pips very quickly. This was a 60-minute fib support down here at 139, 140, and we're now sitting on this support level. So we're coming in on the 15,200. We're doing well above the gap. We have a heck of a lot of resistance here. I am tempted to. We've got a buyer's bar on the daily chart, but the 60-minute is, we're under the 200 on the 60-minute. I think what I might do is just leave this one until the data's out of the way. But let's get the range off and let's just reassess. DAX is doing okay, just slightly underwater, slightly under my entry. Right. The 60 minutes is the sort of chart that can go either way. A lot of resistance above us, some support, 15-20 pips underneath, bearish open. Like I said, I might just leave that until we get some more information. That 187, a lot of support here, 175, 187. Yeah, which is sort of coincides with, of course, with the close. So the risk-reward ratio for a short is not great. And so the DAX is just ticking up a little bit. Yeah, I have a feeling this might do this. 15 minutes stochastics is low. I think I'm just going to let this one go. If it drops hard, I'm going to have to just wait for a fade. As you've heard me say many times, you don't have to chase this. We haven't had some decent fades for a while. Yesterday's Euro Yen was a pretty good. It didn't quite touch the fade. It wasn't completely triggered, but we got close. Where are we? Yeah, decent open. And then this 10 o'clock, I'm going to have to think about how I handle 10 o'clock reversals, because at the moment, the timing of the room doesn't suit 10 o'clock reversals. So I need to think about a signal system, just rather than just stuff things in the chat room. I need to think quickly about key intraday signals. Just conscious that sometimes I write a lot of stuff in the room, as do occasionally people have something they want to chat about in the room, but sometimes signals can get a bit lost, or sometimes the quality, sometimes you get a good signal, it can get lost in the chat. So I need to think about that carefully and quickly to make better use of the room. So getting a bit of a pullback in the Euro Yen. Let's get that one lined up as well. Yeah, I'm very high stochastic. So 307 is a support area here. Let's see if that drops down to that. Very shoddy morning so far. Let's see if this 15-minute bar, this is at my entry point anyway. I think it's preferable. I think it's higher probability if the gap ties in with the range you're looking at. It's always that if you get a very bullish signal but it's not backfilled, sometimes it can look really bullish and then just turn around and at least do a 50% gap fill, if not 100% gap fill. So, but when it ties up with, when your trade ties up with the gap, with the previous day's close, I should say, because we haven't got a gap, then it is higher. I find it's higher probability. So the more things you've got the right side of you, i.e. the 15-minute 200 and previous day's close and the range, the better. The only thing that's on the wrong side of us is this 5-minute 200. So that's the only sort of fly in the ointment so far. Pound is not doing much. The currency is quiet right now. Let's have a quick look at the pound yen. Right. This is coming off yesterday's highs as well. That 935 is a major pivot resistance. It took a long time to wind its way up, this one. It took all day to 100 pips. I'm not even crossed this one off, have I? So it's a weak start that has actually triggered short. Yeah, 8:15, we've got a hammer on the 15-minute 200 average. So a retest of yesterday's highs makes sense. But 75 is a big. If we get up there, that is. I don't know if we're going to hold this and break above that 200 yet. If we do, 75 is going to be a barrier. If we close above 97, then look for and you're still in it, look for these upper levels. Look for 122, 154. And certainly on the Dow, the Dow has just been unbelievable. It's just been grinding higher. Very small range bars. And the FTSE is still short. There's a very bearish start to the day on the FTSE. I meant to look at this one. Let's mark this off properly because it's UK retail sales we got today and US weekly jobs, and that's it. Tomorrow we have some Canadian data and public sector borrowing. Now that could really throw a spanner in the pound. Okay, so this FTSE has been awful. It's just not been following. It's been contra to DAX and Dow. And I've been calling it short for a week now. So this is do or die, I think, for the FTSE. If it can't survive today, then I don't think it stands much of a chance. Right, similar to the DAX, we're sitting around the previous day's close. DAX is just above my entry. And already we are looking like we could fall through that. Right. I'm going to mark this one off because I think this is a very interesting daily. So I just want to keep pace with this one. Right, I'm just going to nibble along this one as well. Okay, so I'm just long that one as well. So where are we? DAX is pretty flat. Euro yen is dropping back. Right, so the pullback to me would, definitely be, I think what I'm going to do is, I don't want to short a bullish chart, so I'm just going to sit here and wait for a 300 level. Let's, 900 is an obvious one. That's a big old bar on that one, isn't it? If retail sales are good, I can see this one really popping. I think we need to, I suggest we watch this one very closely because this is in a very interesting area. Okay, so I'm long DAX and long Euro Aussie. And looking, just conscious that FTSE is struggling on the line. Just makes me nervous when you've got sort of contradictions in the market. Gold is weak, oil is struggling with 52. Yeah, that pound Aussie is interesting. I would very much like to buy. I would love that to drop to 165, 167, somewhere in that area. We're only it's certainly not held up very well. Yeah, this is a really, really crucial area for the pound. Yeah, I would very much like to see that drop lower, and I mean, maybe a week too early on this. I think we may need to see some lower numbers on this pound Aussie, and then I'll be looking at that very closely at the weekend if I don't take this later today. Yeah, it's not looking happy at all, is it? Where are we? Well, not looking happy right now, anyway. And that's actually a potential buy signal on the 15-minute chart. Obviously, break through 67 and scrub it. It's coming into this with a really bearish setup, but I think this is potentially going to get bought. My Euro Aussie is drifting a little lower. I'm a few ticks under. I've only got a marker lot on there. I've got the kind of lot that I'm really not bothered about. I can happily forget, but I will start to build if it works. It's one of those low risk, high reward setups. Low risk with small position. I think we are just doing a bit of a stop run. If I'm right, this is doing a bit of a stop run. This will close above 800 and run to the upside, if I'm right. If I'm wrong, this will close under 67 and drop hard, potentially for at least another 75 pips. Yeah, that's my plan. Nothing to watch, really. And Euro yen is sitting right on yesterday's high. Interesting. These markets are poised. Very, very poised. And there's something about the way in which that Dow has moved that disturbs me. Right, I said I'd concentrate on the pound US, didn't I? Right. So we've got the first 15-minute bars out of the way. That one is bearish. First 15-minute bar of the DAX is bullish. Yeah, so we've got this any chart that's got a key moving average the wrong side of you could tip this against you. It's a box that's left unticked. Any box that's left unticked could just tip it over. So happy to sit there because I've not got much capital at risk, but just interested to see. $6.75 would be my preferred entry. So I'm not going to try and pick a bottom. I'm just going to let this one drift and see what it does. I've got a titchy little position in Euro Aussie, which is at the moment is not working. So I'll wait and see. I think that. Let me. I'll show you. I don't think I've given you my chart for that, have I? I'll just post in the Skype room a chart for this one. Right, back to DAX is pathetic, struggling. That's not finding any buyers at the moment. We're just putting a higher, marginally higher close. Euro Aussie is ticking up off the bottom of the range at the moment, but could so easily just slip out of that. Pound Aussie is attempting to find some support here. I think if that breaks up through 790, that might just do it. But yeah, it's working against us, isn't it? The 200 and the gap fill is above us. Now the gap, previous day's close, could act as a magnet, but all the time we're closing lower. Obviously, yeah, as you will appreciate, that is stacking against us. And I'm in the Euro Aussie anyway, so I've got exposure to that one anyway. And the Euro has been a lot stronger this week. Talking of which, this is not having a happy day. Wow, that's just gone right back to the Central European Open. But like I said, rather than short a bullish chart and have it turn around on me, yeah, obviously it was scalpable. With hindsight, that is definitely scalpable. But let's just see what it will do. The DAX is just, I'm a few ticks under the DAX now. It's not quite delivered 25 pips yet, but it's close. Where are we? Just coming to the half hour. Right, let's just wait to get this half hour out of the way. I'll just go quiet for a couple of minutes and I'll talk to you at past. Okay, so just give me a couple of minutes and then we'll get this half an hour out of the way and then we'll just talk about where we are. Okay, so the one day I choose to trade the DAX, we get some buy signals here and then it just stops me out. Okay, all right, if that's what the market wants to do. Don't know why, but the euro is, well, the euro's just had a great run yesterday, and we are just tipping back. And I'm getting close to a stop out on that one either. I've got a mark a lot on this. I'm just penny position. So I just made a very small loss this morning so far, after what was a good day yesterday. Right, so that is on the line. We are triggered short, but the indicators are very low already. So I'm not going to fight these indicators. This stochastic's on the floor. So if it drops hard, I'm just going to have to wait for a fade. Typical, isn't it? I've been talking about how bearish the FTSE is, and we get a buy signal on the floor of the range. And I'm in the DAX, and I get short out the DAX, which has been so bullish this week, right? Mr. Markets will do what it wants, won't it? Yeah, this is a key. This is really right on the line for the FTSE. If the FTSE bulls are going to save this, today's their day. Right, too much chatting, not enough trading. Euro came in with a really bullish chart. So this is just sitting on last week's high. Okay, I think I am just going to stay out of this for a little bit longer and just reassess. So this triggered short. So we got a nice little short signal while I was marking my charts up at 7:45. Not quite tested the highs. I think my feeling is at the moment these markets are just coming to support, but that is certainly a very bearish setup on the pound at the moment. It's triggered short 6 pips ago. Okay. Having got stopped out on the DAX, my inclination is just to let this market set up. And not engage it right now. Let me come back to you in a 1:45 because that DAX looks to have, yeah, we've come into 26 as a key level of support. Okay, rather than get chopped up, I'm going to stand aside and come back to you in 10 minutes. Just let this market set up and let me think about it. All right, talk to you in 10. Okay, I'm still in the Euro Aussie, stopped out of this DAX, so I'm just going to stand aside and let this mark. Just give me 10 minutes and I'll come back to you. Okay, just had a look around and think about what's going on here. I think that I would look for a fade of this one. This is just about done 30 ticks now. DAX is just coming into Sunday's open. Ticked all the boxes for a long, except that, like I said earlier, that 200 moving average above us. This market is not happy this morning. So trades, what can we look at? DAX is a potential fade at 30, 38. If we see it, I'll certainly look out for a fade now. Now I've been on the wrong side of this one. And just already coming to yesterday's lows. So my suggestion, this was an exhaustion move, is at the moment playing out. Unfortunately, I discovered by getting a stop out. Right. So I can't see a trade at the moment. Euro. I think I'm going to have to wait till the UK data's out of the way. Okay, so at the moment this 190 is holding, so that's a potential fade. So we've triggered short and we're now pulling back into the range. This one took a long time to grind higher yesterday, so if we finish short on the 60-minute chart, then a fade would, a sell would make sense. But the risk-reward ratio for the break at 190 was way too low to short it. DAX, of course, is coming into the round number. Oh, that was a nice short, wasn't it? Don't you just hate it when you get on the wrong side of it? So last week's highs have failed. Instead of holding, they have failed. So we definitely need a pullback, need a fade. So we get a bullish, we get this 15-minute is definitely fired a bull signal. Let's get rid of the fibs for a minute. So by the time I took this, well, that bar was 8.15. So we've got a new low in the range and a close above. By the time I was in the trade, but they've just turned it around and whacked it down. So now any retest of 32 is a potential short area. So although I've missed the trade, hopefully I can make my money up and more if we get a retest of that area. We're coming into the 200 on the 60-minute chart. Right. So I will, let's have a look at the FTSE. I bet the FTSE, yeah, okay, the FTSE is given way as well. So the FTSE was the only main indice that was signalling short over this last week when the DAX and the Dow, Nikkei, NASDAQ, you name it, was charging up. This one refused to close higher on the daily. So the FTSE has led the way. Notice how the sell point, they just take it above the previous day's close. They make it look bullish right up until 8:30. You know, even I bet there were buyers in there at 75.20. They slammed it into high into the range and then sold it. Right, so I'm going to concentrate on the pound. Hope we get close to this resistance. If we pop up out of the data into this area here and put a sell signal in, and then break down through the open trading range, obviously I'm going to take a sell signal up here and then see if we can break. If we break 192, I'm going to hold it. This market, gold is coming up off of a key level of support. Gold's having a good morning. That's come up from a low of 1276. So that is now a pullback, potential pullback at 1280, 1275, 1280. And wow, the DAX is caving in. Reversal time, ladies and gentlemen, reversal time. Ouch, that hurts looking at that. Right, let's concentrate on pound. Coming back into the range, we've triggered short, we're coming back into the range, so I'm going to short now. We've triggered short, we're in the middle of the range, I'm just shorting this resistance. And seeing if we can break back down again. We're coming to the underside of the 15-minute 200. We've triggered short, so we've had wave one, move one was the short. Now we've had the retracement into the middle of the range. Now we're coming out, so I'm short. I will set a target of, well, I'm going to put 130 on there, but obviously I'll adjust that as we get going. I'll add to it if it works. Okay, so we've got 45 minutes of selling. No, more than that. We've got an hour of selling in the pound. Let's strip this off. Right. That was yesterday's high. No, it wasn't. That was yesterday's high, 118. That was yesterday's low. We've rejected the high at 213, spent an hour selling. Now we're getting a pullback. So now if we close below 138, so that's wave 1, this is potentially wave 2, wave 3 could be the impulsive wave. And if we can't hold 138, we are potentially coming to 130, potentially. Okay, so 192 was a short. I've got short close to 195, I think. What have I got? I've got, yeah, 195. And we are 6 minutes off of an hourly bar that looks as if it's going to be a nice sell signal. And we have effectively a mini little crash. I've been predicting it because of the FTSE, but I've not caught it so far, but I've got plenty of time for a pullback. So now I'm going to alarm that pullback area. I would love to get short at the gap previous day's close. And I'm going to watch to see if this pound can do what I want it to do. So we triggered short again on the open trading range. So despite my early frustration, let's see if I can make this up. Put the fibs back on it so I can monitor if it is going to work and fall through the floor, and at least I can monitor potential targets. Right, the scalper school target would be 175. If you are scalping this, look for 176, 175. If you are prepared to get your stop to break even, let's see if, wow, this DAX is really, yeah, these market, that is definitely, well, it's confirmed exhaustion move yesterday. What a shame. Right, yen gaining strength. That's coming for a gap fill. With a very bearish 60-minute bar coming right into support. At the moment, the Euro US is picking up. That is potentially about to give it a sell signal, or certainly a lower close in the 60-minute, not a sell signal. If that closes below 806, that could short. So that's given a short signal. At the moment, pulling back into the range. Pound at the moment has triggered short again, looking lower. Wow, that DAX is a beautiful chart. Look at that. Ah. At the moment, this Euro Aussie looking very weak at the moment. I'm going to just keep a close eye on that. Okay, so we've not gap filled yet. That's good news. So we've got the gap fill on the right side of our trade. Okay. Just need to short. It's 30 years ago since the big 87 crash, isn't it? I sold 80% of my share portfolio around about 10th or 12th of October 1987. Now the pound, actually, a couple of days ago, you look at the pound a couple of days ago, we did this, pushed up, closed under the 15-minute 200, so we look bullish, closed under the 15-minute 200 and then sold the rest of the day. So let's see if this breakdown so we've closed under yesterday's high at 215. I've got low stochastics. The stochastics are against me. I need to be aware of that. And FTSE is coming to that 7,500 I've been talking about. I talked about this last week. Right, pound is now beginning to react in our favour. We've got a very bearish signal on the 60-minute chart. The major support is 130.25. Last week's low was 130.78. And the euro yen continues to drop. I've been wanting to short. I've even tried a couple of shorts on the Dow over the last couple of weeks, only to see this thing fly. To see this thing just whip me out. So this is going to get very interesting. US Open. There is plenty of time to make money on this, guys. Plenty of time. This is just the beginning. So if we look at this daily. So if this is an exhaustion move, then and we close lower, any push into this area here is going to be a sweet short for tomorrow and into next week. We should have fun next week, if not this week. Okay, so we are coming to gap fill. If you are scalping this, you need to be putting your exit orders in. This 179 is a 60-minute fib support. Right, scalper score target hit. The yen pairs, the yen is gaining a lot of strength. DAX getting a bit of a bounce. DAX is liking the weakness in the euro. So where are we? We are 20 pips up at the moment. I'm not quite sure why I got that 125 down there. Why have I got that down there? Let's take that off as well. Let's take that off. Right, so there's the range, there's the gap. Scalp School target just coming into focus. Scalp School target hit. DAX getting a decent bounce. 50 pip bounce. Typical reaction. Typical short sell reaction. I think what I might do is I might take this off at this scalp score target and then reload on any highs, reload on a sell signal higher up if possible. Let's just see how this 15-minute bar closes. We've certainly got a 4-hour sell signal. So, you know, a longer term sell signal could be good, right? The daily support is, yeah, like I said, it's last week's lows. We've got fib support at 72. Okay, once I got stopped out of that DAX, which was contra to, you know, tremendous bull run, just had to refocus and come up with a plan quickly. That's the beauty of being a scalper. If you are on one side of the market and you get stopped out, the beauty of being a scalper is that you can flip. The sign of a good professional scalper is somebody who can flip from one side of the market to the other. Okay, so the moment this pound is liking the gap, just going to see where this 15-minute bar closes. Certainly pausing here at yesterday's low, isn't it? We may well go and see a fade of 90. Right, have some of you scalpers come out? Have you taken these? I've got 23 pips on the books. Or are you planning to try and get the bigger move? Okay, slipping through previous day's close. DAX rotating back to the downtrend after that bounce. Okay, so this is going to be hopefully another good day in the room then. Euro yen did it for us yesterday, and hopefully this pound will do it for us today. I think what I will do is, I'm just contemplating coming out here, just hoping we can reload. I'll just see how this 5-minute bar closes first. In an ideal world, we could grab this, get a fade on the news, and then reload. But if this is just going to carry on south, then obviously we need to stay engaged. It's currently 30 pips up. Indicators are now on the floor. I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to hope we get a fade. So I've come out here now. Might well come lower, but we've got news ahead in just over 15 minutes. Let's just grab, we've seen this too often where we sit here trying to get big moves. The scalper score targets come up, and I give it back. So I'm just going to come out, wait to see what the data wants to do, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange the 5-minute bar after the data, and let's just see if we get continuation. So at the moment the DAX had that nasty drop, 50 pip pop higher, and they've sold into it again. Some novices might be trying to buy these dips, which is madness. I need a retracement now. Got the sell signal. 05 is Sunday's close, so that will be a nice one, but I would, what I'm looking for, so let's see if we get that. Pound still getting lower. I'm just coming into this fib support at 58. Now we've got on yesterday's data move. Don't forget the data on the pound has actually been very good this week. Yesterday's data move was right up here, and I stupidly had I was in it, and I was too greedy and gave that move back. So I had 35 pips on the table and gave it back. So today I'm hoping that this low reading on stochastics is going to give me a bounce, and I can get short higher up again. Let's have a recap on the Euro Aussie. Is not doing it. So lost just a few quid, barely enough to buy a round of drinks. In fact, you can't buy a round of drinks for 15 quid, can you? So I will stand aside. That is on very, very handsome pivot support, so I don't want to engage that one anytime soon until that is resolved. Pound Aussie is caving in at the moment, and Pound US is getting this little pre-data bounce. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop what I'm doing, just walk away for 10 minutes and then spend 5 minutes thinking about what may or may not happen after the data. FTSE has hit my predicted 7,500, so I need to get short that one. But these markets are way, this market in particular, the Dow, is way out of whack with moving averages. So this is going to be really interesting at the Dow Open. Now, are the bargain hunters going to come in and whack this back up again? Or are the bears just going to take this as a key signal and just short as much as they possibly can? Well, my money's on the shorts for now, but I will just stand aside and reassess once we get information in front of us. Right, I am going to sit tight. So look at this euro yen. So coming into decent support here, very, very decent support. This would qualify as just a pullback in the daily chart. I think euro yen bulls would be potentially buying into this area. 250 would make more sense. We're not far off of that. Right, I'm going to go quiet now until we get the data out of the way. Look at that short covering bounce, decent, 60 pips off the low. No, it's not quite 60 pips, it's not far off. Right, so I got a minor stop out, penny stop out on the Euro Aussie, small position stop out on the DAX, but 30 pips on the pound US, so could do better. Look how that's coming to massive support, dipped under the 150, coming to massive support. Right, I'm definitely going quiet now. I'll talk to you in 10 minutes. Right, definitely getting a bit of a short covering bounce here in the market. DAX, yeah, we've got a market that's been pretty thin on the ground. These heavy dips do get bought, and so this is a nice short covering bounce here, 70 plus pip bounce. Could you drop down? You could drop down to a smaller time frame. Yeah, so you start seeing a pullback into this buyer's bar here at 31. Right, let's concentrate on the pound, and Euro yen is getting a bounce off of that 250. Nasty looking 60-minute bars at the moment. If you're going to trade it, I would wait for a higher close. I would wait for this to dip back to 250, get a, well, ideally even lower. Close above, get a nice higher close, a green bar, and then buy into a pullback into a green bar if you're going to trade that long. In the meantime, we've got this pound bouncing back up. So let's see if we can get, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till the data's out of the way now. And mark off the range. So for example, if we have a range of 30 and 55, I'll mark it off, and whichever way it breaks out of that is the way I will trade it. So if we start, maybe we have a drop, I'll look to see if we get back up to the highs, and if we sell up here, I'll try and short it and hold it if we break the low. Likewise, if we, whoa, right, let me get, sorry, I ran out of time, didn't I? Okay, let's see where this closes. Okay, it's going to be this week. I think it's going to be this week. I will try and short a little spike higher. So I've gone short here. Change of plan. It's a decent bar. So I am short at 50 something. Because why did I change my plan? Because it's in the intraday trend, and it's a decent distance. The DAX has really leapt up. A few pips the right side of this at the moment. Okay, so you can never tell with these data moves. Sometimes if you leave it on the table, you can just get whipped out, give all your profits back and more. Other times it works in your favour. So I've gone short at 51, nearly 10 pips up already. Sorry about that change of plan. Ideally, it would just go to plan. I guess I should have given you another scenario where I might just leave in. I have done this on a few occasions over the last month or two. Currently 10 pips up. Broken this week's lows now. So if we've broken this week's lows, let's see if we can start to see some heavier selling. Never know. No idea what the data is. I'll, no need to know. DAX is coming off 980. It's pretty slow. Just got to be careful we don't get any kind of bounce here. I don't think we will, but you never know. So by the time I got into short this, it was already it already bounced good 15 plus pips off the low. Staying out when the data comes in, it just gives you a bit more peace of mind. You just never know what it's going to give you. Lower close, so if we now break the low of this bar, we're in business. It may retrace up to 71. Just be aware of that. So we need to break 32 for this to work. The euro is weak, but not falling hard. There's no reason why you shouldn't just grab what you've got. You don't have to sit here and try and get a runner. If you've got 30 pips in the initial 25, 30 pips in the initial move, and you've got 10 whatever pips now, no reason at all why you have to sit here and try and get a runner. What you got three options. You could get your stop up to break even -5, say. Get your stop up to, or just keep it out of the high of this little move. In other words, that's got to be at least 75. Or just grab what you got. So you've got at least three options. No reason at all to sit here and hope, cross your fingers, that this is going to drop to a decent distance. But at the moment, it's certainly not finding any buyers. So this is yesterday's low. Should put that in already, shouldn't I? So just so we're at yesterday's low. That's all. It's pretty slow. So it makes me wonder, it may accelerate if we break 32, it may pop back, I don't know. Okay, this is decision point because if you look at the 15-minute chart, we are just sitting on that support. So you can see I'm just 10 pips up at the moment. So I've got two lower closes in the 5-minute bar now, but there's a couple of bottoming tails on both of them. So the selling pressure appears to at the very least slowed. Indices have pulled up. And just waiting to see if we can break 32. I think we are going to break that low. few minutes off of this 15-minute bar. If it does break 32, it may drop quite hard. It's certainly very slow, so you might want to consider taking this off if it's this slow, because it could bounce. Close above 45.50, this could bounce. Indicators are very low. We may be better off just waiting for a fade later in the day. Getting close to my entry point now, with a potential smaller time frame buy signal. Just going to hang on till we get this 15-minute close, but it does at the moment look as if we could get some kind of bounce. Like I said, nothing wrong with just grabbing 10, 12, 15 pips, whatever it is, in a situation like this. Okay, it's a weak 15-minute close. Now, can we just break 32, or are they going to rescue this? It's very slow, this week's lows, so you could just ramp your stop up and leave it. Just around this round 150 number, aren't we? I think I'll just grab what I've got, which is not much, a few pips, and then wait for a pullback, I think. Let's give it a few more, just give it at least another bar. I'm going to take what I got. I'm out. I'm going to wait for a fade. Okay, so plan for the rest of the day. I'd like to short into ideally 210 on that one. The euro yen has got a 15-minute higher close. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. If you are going to trade this long, I would look for another retest of 250. That's a very nasty 60-minute bar. So just if you are going to trade into this, just wait and see where we are at 10:30. 10:30 is a pivotal reversal time. So I'm going to short highs in the pound. I'm going to potentially, I'm going to buy the euro yen if we get a push lower. Tell you what, an even safer way of playing this is to wait and see if we get a 60-minute close. So play ultra safe if you are trying to trade a reversal, an intraday reversal. DAX, I would still, got my alarm set. I want to trade a higher number. The Dow, I would very, very much enjoy a push into resistance at 175 or a gap fill at 156 and short. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this session. Pity just didn't take out the low. Anyway, we did okay. Looks if it's trying to recover. Let me just see what the data is. I have no idea what the data is. Pullbacks and fades. Fades are the most important scalper score trade. So let's see what we've got. We've got, yeah, a very negative number. It's coming worse than expected. So I would wait until at least 10:30, if not midday, for retracements. Thank you very much for listening. No questions coming in. You've been very quiet this morning. So I will do what I can to help you in the Skype room. Just bear in mind what I just said about potential fades. Okay, drop me a line in the Skype room if you want, or email, whatever, if you want to chat. Otherwise, I'll end the meeting and see you soon. Bye for now.